Hello YouTube, welcome back. Today we're doing Gothmog. He used to be one of my favorite tacticians. A lot of people used to play him a lot, still do, mostly just a backdoor. He can do some pretty decent damage in a public match. I think if you just run AP, a lot of things really popular is movement speed, CC reduction, so people can't really root you, hold you down. You're able to just run away from tower to tower and really just do some harass. He can really do really well early game. He's very strong early game. It's just he really falls off after level 11. His ultimate doesn't really do too well because you can step out of it, but it does do a good amount of damage if somehow you can keep the enemy team in there. So what I like to do is, if I run Gothmog, is sometimes I like to run AP, and this is going to be damage Gothmog. So it's one of the two ways I run it. I usually either do movement speed with control and effect reduction, or I do all AP. Don't really focus too much on cooldown. You can do some really nice damage if you run ability power, so that's really what I'm going for here. So Gothmog, my thoughts kind of on him. He is good early game. His catapult is very strong early game, and he's got a nice dive ability, his ramming ability, so you're going to want to level that up pretty early game. And then he's got a nice ability that makes it so towers target it for a while, taking the damage off your teams. So he's really good tower diving guardian, but it's really not that too much useful later in the games when people are all fighting in groups. But it's very strong early game, and so I like to run him if you're trying to beat the team as quick as you can. So Gothmog. Abilities I like to level up first is definitely War Machine. That's Gothmog's catapult. Creates a stationary trebuchet that lasts for 16 seconds, firing projectiles at all enemies within long range and causing 50 up to 130 ability damage. And this ability gains a really small boost from ability power, but I like to level this up first because just leveling it up for the level up on the ability itself really helps early game. And it has splash damage, which is really nice, so it's a really good for clearing waves of creeps, and then it's nice to put down towers like I'm doing right now. See, I got both guardians, it's pretty nice. And you can see there I was getting ready with my B ability, my ram, and I'm going to go boom, and that's my tower dive ability. And I really like it. That's really what you use it for, in my opinion, when you're running AP Gothmog. It's really a tower diving. It's great. It keeps them under the tower so your enemy you're with can hit them, and then you're going to do a big amount of damage, especially early game. So that's War Machine. Second, I like to do Kron's Blow. That's where I just got that kill. And with Kron's Blow, it's got a nice big AP ratio, 0.36. Gothmog charges into battle, rushing forward while wielding a mighty battering ram. Enemies caught in the path of the charge are knocked into the air, briefly losing control, while his primary target takes 50 to 155 ability power and is stunned, impeding the target from taking any action for 1 up into just about 2 seconds. And like I said, this ability goes really good with running ability power. So I would level this one up last if you're not doing ability power, but because I am, it's going to do a huge amount of damage early game. I'll reinforce the fact that I'm talking about early game. See, 133, level 4, it's pretty nice. Okay, now the next ability I level up, when you can get your ultimate, definitely want to do Reign of Doom. It's really nice ability to do good amount of damage to towers. If you're lucky enough to keep enemies within the radius, it can do a lot of damage in a group fight. It's just not likely because people are going to immediately try to run out of it. And you always want to level that one up. Reign of Doom, Gothmog summons a massive artillery strike centered on his current position. All enemy units and structures caught within medium range of the bombardment are dealt 44 up into 144 ability damage. And this ability gains a small benefit, increased ability power, but it really does a lot when you add it up because it does damage over time. So even though it has a small AP ratio, you're really doing a lot of damage overall if you can get enemies to stay inside the area, which is particularly useful for towers that can't move. As a tactician, he can do damage to towers with his abilities. So the last ability I level up with AP Gothmog, I want to emphasize with AP Gothmog, is the Black Land Banner. And Gothmog places his banner on the battleground, drawing all enemy fire within medium range to it for 2 up into 5 seconds. This ability gains no benefit from increased ability power. So this is really great for rushing enemies at their tower. I think Gothmog is a good tower diving guardian. You can put this under the tower. You can see there I put my siege tower. And then I'm going to throw my banner right there, and now the tower is targeting the banner. So you max it up into the rank 4. It's going to deter the damage for 5 seconds, allowing you and your team and soldiers to hit the tower. And with Gothmog, his passive, you can take towers out very quick. So with AP Gothmog, I leveled that one up last. And Gothmog's passive is Besiege, directing his cohorts against enemy fortifications. Gothmog gives all allied units within medium range a bonus based upon his current health to ability or basic damage against structures. So that's really good. So that usually means other tacticians. That's what ability damage to structures means. Or you definitely can't do any ability damage to towers, as awesome as that would be. You just can't do it. So let's see if I can get away here. Hopefully I'll get my Gondor's below and just kill him right here. And boom. Yep. You see how powerful he is early game. Definitely cannot do that late game. He just doesn't have the damage. Maybe if he had a higher AP ratio on all his abilities, he'd be a lot better. People would take him more seriously. They wouldn't just be running backdoor Gothmog. And it'd probably be a lot more fun to play him. He's really a fun guardian to play. Just it doesn't make too much sense to have him on your team late game. So you really got to kind of have an early game team here. So his passive is awesome with creeps. He really is. He's great at taking down towers. If you leave a Gothmog on your tower, he's going to destroy it if you don't do anything. If you're not going to pay attention to it, he'll definitely kill it in just 2 creep waves, even at the very early levels. His passive gives a lot of extra damage to soldiers. That really adds up. So the belt that I'm running for AP here, you can see, is just very common belt, Seat of Scene and Western Ease Relic. It's going to lock at level 4 and level 12. It's a nice early game. Really takes advantage of my abilities at level 12. After that, I really kind of fall off as a guardian. It's just too bad. But it's going to give me a lot of damage early game. Definitely want early game with Gothmog if you're running AP, because he has a huge capacity to be able to push his lane and control it. So, Seat of Scene gives you, I believe, 14 ability power per level. And then your Western Ease is going to give you 2 ability penetration per level, and then 16 ability power per level. So that's going to add up to give you a pretty good amount of all-around AP damage with some ability power penetration. So the ways I really like to run AP Gothmog, I am going to run them differently. I'm not going to try to be sneaky. I'm really just going to try to hit my abilities, do as much damage on a tower, and then get out. You can see my ultimate, how much it's doing right there when it all adds up. Great at clearing waves too, when you are by yourself. Took that tower by myself very fast. Really no challenge at all. Gothmog is awesome at that. I really don't recommend doing cooldown with Gothmog, because like you can see here on this creep, it's going to give me plus 15% cooldown. I already have a 5% gem, so it's already 25 reduction right there. I think ability reduction is really quite useless in a 3-lane match because of the creep bonus. So I got 20, the max is 25, so not really needed. See how much damage my blow just did there to Keeley? Very strong early game. But we're starting to pick up here more late game. It's going to be more challenging for me to go up against Guardians my own level, and I do kind of have a little bit of a level advantage right now. But you can see here how quick we can take down towers with Gothmog. That's why I love them. So basically, when you're, there's 2 different kind of engagements you want to do. One versus towers, one versus Guardians. I like to put my, as Gothmog, I like to put my War Machine down first, and then follow it right back up with the banner. It just gives you 1 extra hit off of you. 1 hit on your War Machine is not going to kill the tower, and you're just going to be able to take more hits from the tower, buying you more time to take it down. So I run War Machine first when I'm going up against the tower. Okay, and then I do the Black Banner, keep hitting it. Hopefully you have troops by you with that extra passive bonus. You're going to be taking them down fast. And then you definitely want to hit your ultimate off on the tower when you have that active. And you can see I hit it there right now. It does a nice amount of damage. Now, when you're running against actual Guardians, it's going to be a little bit different, especially early game. The way I kind of run early game is you put your catapult out first, always. Okay. By then, the catapult should hit the enemy at least once, and then you immediately follow it up with Gron's Blow, which keeps them rooted in the area, so your turret should get an extra hit. And if they're dumb enough, they'll keep staying in there for a little bit longer. And you just keep hitting them with your basic attack, hitting them with your basic attack, and you should pretty much be able to out DPS almost any Guardian early game. It's pretty crazy. And again, you're going to want to kind of do that with early game AP like I'm running, especially with Gron's Blow. It's going to give you the most amount of damage. So if any Guardian does give you a problem, you can easily just run away. And if you're level 5, you're going to want to do the same setup, but you're obviously just going to hit your ultimate once your Gron's Blow dives in. So when you're level 5, you're just going to hit your War Machine out. It's going to do some damage while you use your Gron's Blow, then hit your ultimate, and then you should just start doing your basic attack, and that's pretty much all you can do as Gothmog, and then just hope you get the kill and that they don't kill you. So it's pretty simple, but if you do those abilities in that order, you'll find that you'll do a lot of damage, and it's pretty nice. But like I'm going to say, when you get into a team fight, even though he does team damage, his Trebuchet does splash, it doesn't do that much damage, and then his ultimate does add up to a lot of damage, but the disadvantage is that oftentimes enemies just run right out of it, and then it's got a very long cooldown, kind of for what it is. It's got a cooldown of 50 seconds, so that's pretty huge. That's almost, not quite, but almost up there with Sauron. So you can see, match was pretty early game. That's why I run an early game AP belt, and hopefully that'll be some usefulness to you guys, and I think you guys should really try it out. He is very strong, like I said, early game, but can't really say much for him later in the matches. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to have another Gothmog video for just harassment late game, so more to come soon.